What?
That may mean that everyone else is right and you're wrong. I'm just kidding.
So, I feel like...
What's up, guys? We are back with chapter 3, part 2 to our series. I know you guys have been like, where have you been? We took like a week off because we went to playlists, in case you guys didn't know. So super busy, but we are back. But I know you guys are super interested to see what we have to talk about today, considering our title below. But before we get into that, we want to let you guys know that this video is being sponsored by TeeChip. So, for those of you who do not know, TeeChip is a e-commerce site where creators like us can sell drinkware, shirts. As you can see, Jarius stole my swag today with these custom jackets, so shout out to the creator who made these. There's no minimums, no risks. So if you have a unique design, you just go upload it to TeeChip. Buyers can order it and they ship it out for you. Super easy. So as you're scrolling through the site, you can see that they have different categories from women, men, youth and baby, to even jewelry. We do have to note that TeeChip is not a site that people can go to create custom merchandise, but rather an ultimate destination for you to upload your custom ideas and get it sent out in a one-stop shop. So, you know, as we were browsing, we went through whether we wanted t-shirts, v-neck shirts, or even stuff for the kids. And so we ultimately ended up getting these cool jackets and these super cool beanies. So shout out to TeeChip for sponsoring this video. We'll include a link in the description for you guys to check out and go let us know if you pick up any designs. But without further ado, let's jump into this video.
All right, so we have gotten a lot of questions over this series about people wanting to know, have you guys tried counseling? I think I kind of went through some of the comments and answered, yes, we did try counseling, but I guess what we really didn't get to explain to you guys is, do we feel counseling really helped?
I think counseling was a task. So I think it's one thing for us to be in front of a camera and kind of spill tea and talk through situations that we've been through. And it's another to have someone live in person that can comment back and dig a little bit deeper into the situation and ask questions and follow-ups. I think that was tough for me. I think it was tough to do it with you right next to me too. One thing that we've been trying to work on is allowing each other to speak. And so that can be very difficult if you're talking through things that are concerns for you or issues for you, and the person is sitting right next, because I'll be wanting to stop and say, he ain't telling the truth, Your Honor. And so one thing that I think that we took away from that was just allowing each other to speak, and experiences may be different, right? But I think that that's the hard part, is actually getting to it and just like being open and like sharing.
Especially in our community, the Black community, counseling is viewed as like not the most positive thing, or it's viewed as something that's not necessary. I kind of grew up like thinking that it was just something that was afforded to people outside of our community. I do think counseling was helpful, but not immediately. I got the tools that I needed to be able to handle certain situations, and I knew how I was supposed to respond to certain things, how I was supposed to handle certain things and stuff like that. But it just takes a minute for it to actually kick in, because at the time I'm just thinking like, you know, if I'm telling you how I feel about it and you know, you giving me some reasoning as to why you don't agree with it, I'm just like already, I'm like, girl, like you don't know.
So I think that was one of our hurdles, was that we'll do a counseling session and then still kind of leave feeling like, well, she doesn't understand because she's not here. And so kind of defeating the purpose. But I think that goes to just having knowledge about finding the right therapist, finding the right counselor, someone who's LGBT affirming. So we didn't in the beginning find someone or like research someone that kind of specializes or had prior clients that were LGBT or in the community. I don't know this to be factual, but I don't believe, after just doing research, that how to specifically have LGBT clients, how it's different from heterosexual, because I think you're taught, you know, man, woman, you're taught certain cues to look for in certain, it's more so
certain traits.
Yeah, certain traits
women do.
That you kind of can assert your knowledge to or share with your clients. And so I think it becomes a bit tricky if they're not specialized in it, or if they don't have any training on how to tell two men that you're doing, you know, that you're doing something wrong. That was kind of a drawback for me. I think with the specific counseling counselor that we had, I didn't feel that she really connected with us.
The first one?
The second one too. Tidbit, we had one in person and then we did one virtual when we were super busy.
I feel like the second one was definitely more connecting for me, at least. I think
you didn't agree with her.
I didn't agree with at the time. That's why I said that. At the time, I didn't agree with what she was telling me that I should do, which I didn't agree with a lot of y'all, because y'all commented a lot of the same things that I didn't necessarily agree with that she said. So I feel like it just takes like, what?
That may mean that everyone else is right and you're wrong. I'm just kidding.
I feel like there's always gonna be like a block up when you can't see like exactly what you're doing that's wrong, because I think that we all kind of have that blinder on to think that the way that you think and the way that you do things is the right way of doing it, but it's not always the best way of doing it. So I feel like over time, I became a little bit more comfortable and open to receiving some of the advice that like she gave. And like, clearly this woman went to school, like she got her education, like clearly she studied like human behavior, so she has to know something. But I think that I would have been more comfortable accepting advice and navigation from someone who has been in a same-sex relationship, who has been through some of the issues that we've gone through, and this is how they dealt with it, and then tie in the knowledge and experience piece, and you know, like knowing how humans work and stuff like that, tying that piece back to it, because then it becomes more understandable and more relatable to me, as opposed to you are a woman and you know, like you're relating your experience to a man, which is much different than the experience between two guys.
It was just kind of difficult in our case to connect, I guess, with two males having a female therapist that didn't necessarily get it, from my understanding. I mean, I guess I'm glad to know that, you know, you felt connected. I just felt like it was a disconnect in how she viewed or how she took everything in as a whole. And it's only so much that you can get into a therapy session too, right? I mean, you have to be diligent about it and continue to go through it. But I think that it was a lot to share in some visits and then kind of get immediate feedback. And I didn't feel like she necessarily understood the whole picture. In no way, shape, or form are we discouraging you if you are male and you have a female therapist. That does not mean that she can't do her job. We're just talking from a couple's perspective and on how we felt it was beneficial or lack thereof to our marriage and our relationship.
Yeah, I think it would be good for you to go and find someone who has extensive experience dealing with people of the same sex. I think that's like a very vital part, because it's not to say that like a heterosexual person who's male or female cannot effectively do their job to be a counselor to you and to, you know, help you navigate those tough times. But I do think it like seriously helps when someone has that experience dealing with those type of issues, because then like they're able to speak to it more, like they're able to just give you real life examples of how people have overcome, as opposed to just telling you what a straight couple would do, and then like automatically I'm not even hearing the message then, because I'm already just like, you know, that doesn't apply to me in my situation, because you know, he's not a woman, it's a difference. I definitely feel like just finding like the right therapist who is experienced with same-sex couples like is very important.
To your point, I think that you don't necessarily have to find, I think it's almost unrealistic to find somebody who's been through that experience, because then that can also be a bad thing, because they can project their experiences onto you.
Well, I hope not. That's why they are a therapist.
But I feel like they can't tell you how to overcome, because I feel like everybody's journey is different. And so we also split out into individual counseling, which I think is beneficial too. So it's good
let me ask the question though. Do you feel like you were ready to go to therapy? Because I don't think I was. I thought of therapy at that time as a last resort type of situation, meaning that like, okay, my relationship is really in trouble, we going to therapy to get this fixed. I think that you really have to be in a state of mind of really wanting to be open about discussing the issues, be receptive to understand what your part of the downfall has been, and like truly owning that. And I think that you really need to be in a space for doing things that make you uncomfortable to evoke change. And I feel like at the time I wasn't willing to hear, this is what you're doing wrong to contribute to that negative like space that you're in right now. Do you feel like you was like receptive? Mr. Cecil is perfect, you know, he don't do nothing
I
wrong.
I feel as though we were very angry when we did it. And like you said, it was kind of like a last resort. And so I think we went into it with our minds made up, just kind of feeling as though, well, she's gonna agree with me. And it actually ended up being mostly 50-50 with her like agreeing with both parts. So it was kind of a shock just to have a third party kind of come in and tell you what you're doing wrong. And so I think that's part of the reason, like wrapping up, you're just kind of like, well, what does she know? Or
I
something.
think for therapy for me, I was just like, I know what I should be doing wrong, because I'm one of those people that, like, if I'm in trouble in my relationship, baby, I'm about to get on my phone and I'm about to Google. I'll be up to 5 o'clock in the morning, like trying to look through
He's
these
one of those
forms.
people too that if you're sick and he Googles it, you're dying the next day.
But you know what? No, it's not dying the next day. But you know, I have diagnosed myself quite a bit.
And have been wrong.
And have been right. So I was always one of those people who just, like, you know, did a lot of research, and through that research I already knew the things that, like, I should have been doing, but was just reluctant to doing, because I was like, okay, well, you can have that, but you need to do
Which
this
also posed
in order
a
to
problem,
get that.
though. I think that all of your research posed a problem, because what Jarius would do was when we would get in front of the counselor, you would also give textbook responses to make it seem like, oh, well, yeah, and I felt like, okay, that's not how you really are, though.
Well, we ain't gonna even go down all that road. But anyway, I do think, like, a lot of it I did, like, try to apply in real life. Like, when I would go and read something, like, you remember I, like, started reading a book, and then I came to you and I was just like, you know, this is what I've learned, blah, blah, blah. And I started trying to implement those things. And you was just like, well, you need to finish the book. And then, you know, I'll start reading it.
Because you'll read one chapter and then you just like, let me start implementing, but then you never get to chapter 3.
That is shady. But anyway, just to kind of put a button on this video, I do think that counseling is super helpful, but you have to be open to hearing the part that you play and owning it, and just being like in a space to where you just really want to make it work and doing the things that the counselor is telling you to do.
And again, just make sure that you are doing your research to find someone that's a perfect fit. You don't have to go with the first one. Usually people with insurance give a lot of different options, but we definitely learned with just taking a bit of time and finding someone that's perfect for your situation. So that wraps this video. We will be coming to you with our next video on this Sunday. It will be the final video of the series. So super anxious for you guys to see that. So make sure you stay tuned. We love you guys so much, and we'll see you next time.